Preventing workplace violence. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, about 11% of the workplace homicides are committed by a coworker, former coworker, or a customer. About 3/4 of all workplace violence was committed by unarmed offenders, but more than 80% of the workplace homicides were committed with firearms. What is workplace violence? Workplace violence is an incident of violent action, violent behavior, or threat of violent behavior in the employment setting or related to employment. These acts can be classified as severe forms of harassment, verbal abuse, battery, which is the use of force against another person, assault, threatening behavior, fighting, physical assaults, and of course, homicide. By the way, do you know that offensive touching another person can be considered battery, and that such an act does not have to be proven as intentional to be considered battery? This eliminates the excuse some batterers have used that an act of offensive touching was simply an accident. Violence at work may also be psychological. Use of symbols or gestures that communicate a violent intent or can be perceived by another person to reasonably be communicating violent intent are a psychological form of violence. Pointing your finger to imitate the shooting of a gun is a good example. Be sure to know the definition of workplace violence used in your work organization's workplace violence policy if it has one.